X-Men First Class. So, I remember when X-Men First Class came out and everybody was like, dude, have you seen X-Men First Class? You gotta see X-Men First Class. And I was like, yeah, I'll get around to it. Because you see, the thing is, I wasn't exactly blown over by the first couple of X-Men movies, and I didn't even bother seeing X-Men Origins Wolverine. I wasn't even gonna touch that. So, the prospect of another X-Men movie just didn't sit well with me. That wasn't until I saw the casting for it. James McAvoy as Charles Xavier, Rose Byrne was in the movie, and Michael Fassbender as Magneto, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, and Kevin Bacon as Sebastian Shaw. That got my attention, and I'm glad it did, because this movie was pretty much everything an X-Men movie needed to be, in terms of like rallying the team together and like getting all the characters where they needed to be if they wanted to kind of relaunch the X-Men franchise with, you know, a different story. Because here's the thing, and this is going to get into a larger scope of my main issues with the X-Men movies in general. For everything that I loved about X-Men First Class, let me get this out of the way first. X-Men First Class does a brilliant job of setting up all the characters, who they are, giving them proper motivations and backstories that I felt was lacking in the other X-Men films. In X-Men First Class, we understand Magneto completely. We understand Charles Xavier completely. We understand Mystique completely. We understand Beast. All of these characters, we kind of get an insight into who they are, and that's brilliant. Even Sebastian Shaw, even the villains, get a kind of, you know, get a kind of push as to who they are and what they're about, and that's brilliant. So that was great. The performances in here are fantastic, especially when James and Michael are doing the Charles Xavier Magneto thing. Brilliant scenes there. I even debated on which thumbnail I would use, because I have one of them playing chess, but as tempted as I was to use that, I decided to use the group shot because it just looks good. But so yeah, great movie. Now here are my issues with it, and as much as I loved this movie, there are a lot of things in it that I didn't like that I have to say appealed to the geek in me. Because one of my issues with X-Men 3 is the fact that Juggernaut was a mutant and wasn't Charles' half-brother. They could have done a lot with that if they introduced that. One of the things that I didn't too much enjoy is that Mystique and Charles were kind of brother and sister sort of deal. Like, not really, but they were, and I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm watching these movies in light of the other 3 movies that we've had, and I don't know how to take that. Also, Havoc being there in the 60s when, you know, he's a Summers, and, you know, Scott Summers wasn't really around in the 60s. You know, because then he'd be kind of old, in the other X-Men movies, so I don't know, that just kind of bugged me. Those things there, and you can't say that they don't have a shared continuity, because Wolverine was in this movie in a nice little cameo there, which I thought was hilarious. But yeah, this movie just all around great. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. It's just a lot of the geek moments in there for me was just kind of like, okay, so when are Mystique and Azazel gonna hook up to you know, produce Nightcrawler? When is she gonna produce Sabretooth? And yeah, I mean, not Sabretooth, but when are her and Sabretooth gonna hook up to create Graydon Creed, if they're gonna introduce him in the movies, which they didn't, but whatever. So just a lot of these things were good, but just a lot of those geek things in there were just kind of like, I wanna like you, just Like, Riptide, really? 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 Oh, and, yeah, January Jones, yeah, she's bad. No, she didn't, I don't think she really captured Emma Frost to me, because for starters, she wasn't really all that hot. Like, they could have got someone hotter. And she couldn't really act. But Kevin Bacon just pretty much, like, carried her. So, any scene when he's in with her pretty much carried her. The whole German thing, the Nazi thing he was doing at the beginning was great. And just, he was a really cool character. But I cannot say enough good things about Michael Fassbender's Magneto. Oh my goodness, did he understand that character. And it wasn't a regard of making Magneto evil. It was a regard of making Magneto sympathetic. And eventually the bad guy in the end. Because, like, when he turns those missiles on, you know, the cruise ships and whatnot, he's completely right. Like, about everything. And it's just, it was really awesome just seeing how the two became adversaries, but not enemies. And I thought that was really cool. When Rose Byrne turns the gun and she's like trying to shoot him, he's deflecting the bullets and it hits Charles, and Magneto, he's like, takes his anger out on Rose and he's like, you did this, and then Charles like, no, it was you, and Magneto's like, oh, what have I done, Charles, I want you back. And it was just, it just really captured like the differences between those two men, what they mean, where they stand on the issues, and how they divided, despite the fact that they do have that mutual respect between each other, that love between each other. Just blew me away how it was just captured in such like a perfect moment, where in any other attempt would probably be hammy, but those two freaking nailed it. The same way Sir Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart freaking nailed it. And that's something that I've always wanted to see in Magneto. I'm a huge fan of the X-Men the Animated Series. And in that series, Magneto, again, wasn't a bad guy. He was just like, you know, mutants, we need to stop attacking each other. We need to, you know, deal with these people. If they attack us, we attack them, and we're going to attack hard. So let's just, you know, do this. But at the same time, I love just the chess match when Xavier's like, you know, killing him won't bring you peace, and Magneto's like, peace was never an option. And it's just like, he's right. It's hard to hate the man when he's right. And Charles, I mean, he wasn't exactly naive, because there are people who do embrace them, who do care, and things of that nature. But for the most part, those people are few and far in between, and Magneto's just been making his point. So I'm really excited for the sequel to this movie, and I'm just, it's kind of unfortunate that it's taken me this long to finally see it, but I'm glad I did. Really enjoyed it. Just those little geek moments just kind of made it hard to watch it sometimes, because I'm like, no, you weren't there. No, this isn't happening. No, that doesn't go there. No, this doesn't fit here. And I don't know, just certain things just I will never be able to let go of because of the previous continuity established in other movies. But that's neither here nor there. If they wanted to reboot the entire X-Men series from this movie, they could, and I would enjoy it. So, Days of Future Past, really looking forward to it. Let's go. I'm your boy Hugo Strange, and I'm out. Peace.